I want to say this here to you and everybody who is going to end up watching this. My next few fights are going to be fucking bloodbaths. So
Hey.
it's going to be a good time, man. It's going to be a good time. And it might be some of my blood too, but it's going to be different.
All right.
That's all I'm going to say.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Late Night Level Up. With me this week, my man Sunni. So great to have you on, brother.
What's up?
Nice to see your face. This is one of the coolest things about this podcast, I think, right now for me is getting to see some of my friends that I don't get to see that much
Yeah.
anymore. So this is awesome, man. I really appreciate you giving me your time. I know you're a busy guy. I know you got a lot going on. So what's going on in the world over there with you, brother? What do you got going on right now? Working, training,
Just
usual stuff.
working, training, doing a lot of freelance work for like graphic design and photography, video stuff.
Yeah.
Just like you always say, get 1% better every day.
That's all we can do, brother.
Yeah.
So one of the things I like to do with this too is just kind of like, for the people that don't know our guests like story, I like to kind of just go through like the timeline a little bit and just touch on
Mm-hmm.
some of the stuff, some of the moments and help people kind of get a backstory. And I feel like I've been super fortunate to get all the people that I've had on so far, and a lot of really, really interesting people that have like a cool story that led to where they are. So that's kind of like
Yeah.
usually what I try to do is just kind of flow through that very loosely or whatever.
Yeah.
So I know, where did you start your martial arts journey at?
So I started training. I mean, if you don't count like when every kid did karate when they're like,
Nah, I count that shit. That's
that
on that.
counts.
Yeah. Hell
Well,
yeah.
I think when I was living in Jersey, I probably did karate from maybe like a summer or something like that. My mom
Okay.
had me in
Yeah.
something. But then I
That's the
moved
prequel.
to Maryland. Right. And then I had moved to Maryland around like 8 or 9. And my mom was like, "Oh, you need something to do for, for after school, because I have stuff that I need to do after school and I can't just have you in the house just like by yourself. So we got to figure out something for you to do." And I was
Yeah.
like, "I want to do boxing," and she's like, "No, I'm not letting," because, she grew up like hearing about Mike Tyson and all that stuff. So she just
Right.
thought like boxers were crazy.
Yeah.
And so she's like, "No, you're not doing boxing." And I was like, kickboxing, and the word like had boxing in it. So she was like, "No,
Nope.
not doing that either." And then I remember at that time, I don't know how I like knew about Muay Thai. I don't even know if I knew that it was a difference between Muay Thai and kickboxing.
Yeah.
But I think I had mentioned kickboxing, and maybe she looked up what it was or found some kind of Muay Thai school in College Park.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's like right before you pass that gas station, and then it starts UMD campus, like where
Uh-huh.
that laundromat is when you
Yeah.
cross over that hill.
Yeah.
It's like right there.
Okay.
Um,
Like by where the
and
IHOP is, that little
yeah,
area.
yeah,
Okay.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I started training there when I was like 9, 10.
Damn.
And I was in all the kids classes and stuff, and I hated it.
Yeah.
And then once I hit like 14, I was fucking tall for a 14-year-old. So they were just like, "We're gonna put this kid in the adult classes." And then I started training with the adults and like all the other fighters and stuff. And I met a few people like that I know now to this day when I
Yeah.
was like 14
Yeah.
back then.
Yeah.
Like Ryan Hill, I met back then.
Yeah.
I think Danny, I met, he was already fighting at that time. I met
Uh-huh.
him there too. So I met a few people from that gym when I was
Damn.
that young. And they were, if I remember correctly, Ryan and there was another coach named Chuck who were helping me get ready for my first fight when I was 16.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
What gym was
Yeah.
that?
It's like, I have the diploma somewhere
Yeah.
in here, but it's like, it was a martial arts, like, so it
It was
wasn't a
like a
gym
martial
that
arts
was,
gym when they had
it was a
Muay Thai
martial arts
classes.
gym, but then they had,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
but it
cool.
was
Yeah, that
more
was
of
kind of
like,
how it had to be, Yeah.
yeah. And he had a lot of he was almost like a Jeet Kune Do type of guy. Like he
Hmm.
wasn't of that style, but he was of that philosophy where like we
Right.
just take the best things from all martial arts and then create our own thing. So I was like
Yeah.
learning judo, I was learning Muay
That's
Thai, I was
dope.
learning like, you know, karate side kicks and like all kinds of weird stuff. The side kick is actually the first kick I learned
Yeah. Damn.
from training there. So yeah, that was my first school. I stayed there until I was like 17, and then I took a year off, and then after that I started training at Lloyd's, and then you know all
Yeah.
through. Yeah,
All the different places. That's awesome. Yeah, man.
yeah.
I started. How old are you?
Now 30.
Yeah, 30. Okay, yeah. So we are
Yeah,
big. There's a big time difference here for you and me.
yeah.
'Cause I'm about to be 41, so we got 10-year difference.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I started I started in Taekwondo, same thing. And I wanted to do Muay Thai, but there was like
Mm,
even that's what I'm saying. I know even 10 years later when you would
hmm.
have been looking around like there just wasn't really a lot of Muay Thai gyms out there to be
Yeah.
found. And we didn't really have the internet wasn't popping like that. And it took
Hmm.
even longer for martial arts gyms to figure out how to get on the internet and get people in, I feel like too. So
Definitely.
that was like that was a really tough thing to find. I wanted to do Muay Thai when I saw Kickboxer with Van Damme when I was like 10 or something like that. You know what I mean? And it was
Yeah,
fun.
that's
I
funny.
think me and Shane Faison talked about this a little bit too, because he said that was where I think that was the first place he saw it too. A lot of people, that was their first place. They were like, oh shit, this is like a whole other, they kick walls and like, you know what I mean? He thought it was this
Yeah.
whole other crazy thing that it's not really. And obviously you grow up later and watch the movie and you're like, oh, so yeah, Van Damme didn't do a lick of Muay Thai in the whole movie. What the fuck?
Yeah.
But but it sparked that interest though, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely get that. It was hard to find around here.
Yeah.
I switched to Kyokushin because Kyokushin was definitely a little bit more brutal than
Interesting. Hmm.
Taekwondo, and I was glad I got that experience because that was a little bit more like continuous and I really wanted to
Hmm.
punch. Yeah, my
Yeah.
mom was funny too because all this led from I was like obsessed with like toy guns, but like I always wanted to be like play like army guy and like you know what I mean, and had GI Joes and like was running around outside and all that stuff. And she was like super crazy about, not crazy, but just didn't want me around toy guns at all. I think she just knew that she was like trying to keep me from going down a path. I think she like just sensed that I was gonna be a troublemaker at some point. She was like, no
Yeah.
toy guns ever. But I was allowed to have. I was just like I wanted some kind of crazy battle, something. So I got toy swords and stuff like that. And then I was like, well, I need to know how to use them. So that was where it kind of led me down the path of martial arts and like movies and stuff like that too. So it's
Mm.
funny what leads us to it. And she didn't want me to play football because you know, she's like, you're gonna get all banged up and you're gonna have knee problems and head problems and all this stuff. And then, you know, but she allowed me to go to Taekwondo tournaments and like sidekick the shit out of people and and potentially get sidekicked and all that stuff too. But I guess
Right.
she had to just she chose her battles, you know?
Yeah. What's
Yeah.
funny about that is my mom had similar reasons for putting me in that because she didn't want me to be like the stereotypical black dude that plays basketball.
Mm.
So to this day, I still have no idea how to play basketball because
Yeah.
because she was like, you know, you're not playing basketball, you're not playing football, you're not doing any of that shit. Like
Yeah.
you're gonna else that has nothing to do with that.
Yeah. That's pretty cool though, because I maybe that led to you know you becoming so artistic a little bit too. I guess maybe, huh? Find
Probably.
some kind of
Yeah.
outlet, you know.
Yeah.
That's really
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, I was obsessed with basketball. I actually thought I was for sure gonna play until I was like 12 was when I had the realization, and I continued to play off and on through, you know, until I think like 15. And I was such a knucklehead in school. I had bad
Yeah.
grades and never could play for the team and stuff like that. But yeah, I was sure I was gonna be in the NBA one day. And then I like
Were
hit
you pretty good at basketball?
I was decent. Yeah, I could shoot and I could dribble.
Okay.
When I started off, I would never any type of NBA quality. You know what I mean? You just said you're just dreaming when you're a kid, obviously.
Yeah, yeah,
And I
yeah.
was tall when I had like I was tall for my age when I was 12. Um,
Yeah.
and then it stopped. I like hit my, and then I'm like, yeah, I'm probably not gonna be able to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then like I said, I continue to play because I like to shoot and all that stuff too. But I
Mhm.
never had the skill or anything like that. It was just a dream when I was a kid. And I know, so you spent a big chunk of your time training here, but you did go to the West Coast before
Yeah.
previously and spent some
Mhm.
time out there and
Mhm.
trained. What was that like? What I know you were.
Yeah. So mm, I was training in DC at Beta for what, 18 to, no, not 18. I think I was like 19, almost 20 when I started there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was, because I started training there in 2011, end of 2011, I think.
Mm,
So I would have been 20 when I started training there. Yeah, so I started training there around 20, stayed there until I was like 23. Yeah, like 23. Then I moved out here.
mm,
It was 2014. Yeah, I moved out to San Diego 2014. And man, that was a crazy time when I moved out here. I moved out here for a job
yeah.
originally, and then I started training at Alliance MMA.
Mm-hmm.
I was training there for like a year, and then I just wasn't. It wasn't the right fit for
Yeah.
me. I like the people that train there, but as far as like coaches and stuff, it just didn't seem like we were meshing well.
Yeah.
So I decided I was gonna start looking for other gyms and figure out what I was gonna do. And my ex-girlfriend was like, "Hey, you should go to Blue Ocean."
Yeah.
And I was like, "I have no idea what the fuck that is. What is that?" And she's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, it's my favorite fighter, Tiffany Van Soos, trains there." And I was
Right.
like, "Okay," but I knew who Tiffany was. I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
okay." Like, and it just so I think the next week we're there on, I don't remember what street it was, Black Mountain Road. It was on
Uh-huh.
Black Mountain Road where they had like a little garage up, and they had one at the time was there. And I went there for open, and I started training there for a few months, maybe like 4 months, 5 months, something like that.
Yeah.
I was training there. Um, and I started doing jiu-jitsu at Studio 540 for a little bit. I didn't really have like a home gym because I was just like, I have no idea what I'm doing right now, so I'm just gonna just train.
Right.
And then I ended up moving back home like a few months after that to Maryland, where my mom was living. And then yeah, I stayed home for like a year, was training with you,
Yeah.
training at Beta again for a little bit too, and then came back, what, 2017, came back here,
Yeah.
was started training at jiu-jitsu, and I've been Alliance Jiu-Jitsu ever since then.
Yeah.
But I've been training other places too. Like I go to LA and I train with Jason Park.
Yep. I had that
I've
on
trained
my
at Boxing
list
Works and,
here.
like,
Yeah.
a lot of different gyms. Yeah, but those are like my two main
Yeah.
places I'm training is Alliance Jiu-Jitsu, and then up in LA with Jason.
Getting that work in with Jay. Big J.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Hmm.
Jason Park. Trainer of the stars. I feel like he's got a lot of he works with a lot of cool people.
Yeah, he does. He
He's a
does.
good dude. I got to spend some time with him in Mexico. He came
Yeah,
to Mexico for the
for IFMA, right?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
finally got to meet him. Obviously, we knew of each other and stuff like that, but it was cool to finally meet him and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's one of the cool things about living out there too is there's a lot of places to kind of like pick from, and it seems
Hmm.
that well I mean especially now because it just is what it is, but I feel like before
Yeah.
even people tend to move around a little bit out there, and it's not necessarily super frowned on. I mean,
Yeah.
there are some people that are going to be like, oh, this person's just going from every gym and whatever, but seems like for the most part, a lot of the gyms are cool with it out there. I've always tried
Yeah.
to make that my policy here too. Like, I feel like there's,
Yeah.
which it's funny what you talked about, actually, the place that you initially started off at. That was always been my philosophy, is that there's
Mhm.
like a piece of the puzzle everywhere, and you got to kind of go around and
Everywhere.
try to
Yeah.
collect them. And
Mhm.
if you're never going to complete the puzzle, martial arts,
Yeah.
it's just impossible. But the closest you're going to get is by like keeping an open mind and going around and learning from as many people as possible. And you keep
Definitely.
what's useful and discard what isn't, that Bruce Lee philosophy. And then
Hmm.
just try to create the best version of yourself. I feel like, the stuff that works for you doesn't always necessarily work for somebody else, and you just kind of got to find the
Exactly.
right stuff. So I always
Yep.
dug that about the scene out there. I feel like that, because even when I used to come out there, San Diego is like where I really want to eventually move there. I don't know how or
Yeah.
when yet, especially now, just because with the gym and everything, and it's just
Yeah.
like I don't even know how to logistically I would even make that work. But in my mind, I'm always like, I've envisioned myself eventually, like that's where I'm going to live at,
Yeah.
and originally I was planning to, we even talked about it, planning to
Yeah. We
one day
did.
open
Yeah.
a gym out there.
Yeah.
It's scary now though. I don't know if
It is.
I'm like,
Yeah.
shit, I'm glad I didn't now a little bit, because they're tough on the gyms out there right with all this stuff going on.
Yeah. They are. They are. But I mean, dude, I remember. I'm not gonna say which gym it was because I don't want to, put them on blast. But I was at a gym sparring. Um, this is maybe like a month and a half ago.
Yeah.
And we were still on, I guess, purple tier, which meant like it was supposed to be a certain capacity. People were supposed to be wearing masks because they're inside and like all
Yeah.
that. And fucking MMA gyms, we don't give a fuck. So it's like,
Right.
we got a room full of people and we're all sparring, and there's probably like 20, 25 people in the room.
Yeah.
And then you got coaches and stuff on the side too. So there's probably like 30 people in the play in that one space.
Yeah.
And they had like garage doors and the windows were blocked out, so no one could see inside.
Right.
But randomly the coach comes running in and he's like, yo, turn the music off, lights off, everything off. Like
Shit.
we're like middle of like sparring. He just runs in like, shut this
Yeah.
shit down right now. So they turn off the music and they're like, yo, go sit in the back. So we go hide in the back and the fucking sheriffs come in.
Oh
And the
fuck.
sheriffs are like looking in the building and it's like, yo, you guys supposed to be shut down, whatever. It's like, oh no, we're just having a work meeting and
Yeah.
whatever. I don't remember what the fuck he said, but dude, and it was kind of crazy. It felt weird because we were just like huddled up in this
Yeah.
back corner with all our shit,
Damn.
just waiting. It was interesting. It was interesting. And I don't know if they got fined or not, but I do remember they got fined before, and the fine is like 10 G's. So
Yeah, it's a grip, man.
yeah, man, that was an interesting situation. Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
weird time. We had Aaron's been like on top of the shit the whole time. Aaron, for the
Yeah.
guys watching that don't know, Aaron's my wife. She's a PhD. She works at the National Institute of Health. She's also and I don't say this in a negative way, but she's a germaphobe already. So this has been like the
Yeah.
most stressful time of her entire life. I felt so terrible for this shit for her, honestly, more than anything, because I'm like a dumb dude. I'm just like, yeah, I'll be all right. I just listen, and honestly just listen to what she says. She's like, put this on, do this, and I'm like, okay, and
Yeah.
I've got lucky so far. I haven't caught in COVID or anything like that, and we haven't had any cases here
Yeah.
at the gym, so I just trust in her. But it was funny because we are like, I'm like, they're gonna roll up on us at some point for sure. And we were like being really careful. We were pretty much just doing the virtual stuff, and then and
Yeah.
I would come in and do our own little thing. We weren't even really working out that much during that time, because I was just like,
Yeah.
man, I don't, it was just, I couldn't afford a $10,000 fine for sure at that time.
Right.
We might be going out of fucking business,
Yeah.
so but we had the other group that was in here that was kind of wanting to do their own thing, and I'm like trying to tell them, like, this shit is serious, man. Like, we got to be careful. And of course, we were in here one morning. I think we were shooting a virtual thing, and I was sitting here like doing some work, and I left. And right after I left, the health sheriff people showed up, and I was so pissed I wasn't here because me and Aaron felt like we were training for it. You know what I mean? It was like
Yeah.
all right, we're ready when they come in. Like we have all the shit set up. We have the little stickers on the floor. Like everything. This place is like ready to go. You know. And
Yeah.
then of course they come in and they talk to the the other person that was here, had nothing to do with any of that stuff, and had to get the information from them. But luckily we passed and everything, and there wasn't really anything. I mean, there wasn't anything fucked up going on here anyway, so it was all good. But
Right.
yeah, it's sketchy, man. It's a sketchy time, you know.
Definitely.
And it seems even sketchier out there. I know Artem from the boxing club has been fighting with these guys and doing what he can to try to get things back opened up. Because I know a lot of the gyms, I don't know what they're doing out there. I don't know if some of them are, like you said, training in secret to do what they can to keep the doors open and stuff. And I know Artem's been a little bit more vocal.
I'll tell you that most places are doing secret.
Yeah. I mean, I don't.
Yeah.
We did nothing. We just did virtual until the whole time. I mean, and then when in June they said that we had actually, like 2 weeks before that, we started doing some workouts out back, because I was like, man, they can't tell us we can't work out outside. What the fuck, you know? And then like luckily, like 2 weeks later, they gave us capacity orders and stuff like that. And I was like, all right, cool. And then ever since then, we've been just sticking to the guidelines and just doing everything the best we can. We just have people to wear the masks and all that stuff. But yeah, I know out there by now there's no way that I would have been able to stay in business by now. So I would have been doing the same shit at this point for sure. You have to. I mean, it's like people's whole life work, you know?
Yeah, definitely. That's crazy.
But yeah, I've it's been awesome seeing Artem like kind of take a stand and do what he can, and I've seen a lot of the people I know in San Diego that train at other gyms coming there to get the work in because they need a place to go and stuff like that. So that's really cool.
Yeah. It's been, I feel like, I mean, honestly, because I went home from like right when quarantine started until June. So I was at my mom's place in Maryland, and then when I came back, like, I don't want to say shit was open, but I mean, people were pretty much doing what they were doing. Like nothing really changed. Like we were still kind of doing some stuff at the gym, and other gyms were open. It was just, kind of low key. So we were, you cross train over here, you go do your MMA work over here, you do your boxing, everybody's like training, It's just, we weren't posting anything because we didn't want to get in trouble. So
of course.
Yeah. But that was, I feel like, and for some reason I really thought, I was like, oh man, everybody on the East Coast must be doing this. But then like, I'm getting word that like people aren't training, like gyms aren't open. And it seems like you guys are taking it way more serious over there than we were over here.
Yeah. For me, like I said, I was mostly just, I can afford to get that fine or get closed or anything like that. Like this is all I put everything into this. So I wasn't sure, I was kind of nervous. I've just been nervous about it the whole time. There's been some gyms that have just been doing what they want to the whole time too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I believe it.
And I think if anything, that was a little nerve wracking too, because it's just like I was always also worried about like, well, if they get pissed if they look at them and be like, well, everybody's doing this, like gyms aren't allowed to open for however many more months. Like that was what I was going to be pissed about. So I'm like, all right, we're going to listen. But at June of last year, I would pretty much reached my limit of like, all right, like we're going to have to start doing some shit. Yeah. Like, and I know it was tough for Aaron because Aaron's a very by the book person, like I'm literally have been like a little crooked ass since I was like 12 years old. So I'm just like, man, fuck this shit, but she's like, that's why one of the most amazing things that she's stuck with me all this time, because she keeps me from doing a lot of stupid shit probably. Because I'm just like, what do you think? And she's like, no. I'm like, all right, cool. Yeah, you're a
That's what your wife is
PhD.
for, bro.
You've
She
never
gotta
been
keep
to
you in
jail,
line.
so I'll just listen to what you say.
Exactly. There it is.
Yeah.
How did they say when you guys are supposed to be allowed to like be fully open again?
I don't know. I don't even pay attention honestly anymore.
Yeah.
Because like I said, we stuck to like the 25% capacity for a long time, and then I think
Yeah.
they upped it, and we kind of stayed with it for a while just to make sure. Because the other thing I was worried about too, the last thing I also wanted was to have somebody actually get sick here, because I feel like that's
Yeah.
the kind of a death sentence too for the gym.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's gonna have get a lot of people that don't want to come back. But other than that, like we've slowly increased the capacity of the classes and stuff, and
Yeah.
it's been pretty good so far. So I'm not sure when. I'm guessing things will shift once more people have gotten the vaccines. I guess that's the only thing I
Hmm.
can assume.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I'm not sure, man. At this point, it doesn't seem like it's ever gonna go back to normal. It's fucking weird.
I think it will.
It
I
has
think it
to, but
will.
it just doesn't feel like it.
Yeah.
I can't
Yeah.
imagine yet, like when that's gonna be or what that's gonna look like.
I think I think there's two possible scenarios. It could either be, within the next 2 months, like June
Mhm.
hits, summer starts, and everybody's like, man, fuck this shit. We're just gonna do it. Like
Yeah,
whatever. And there's gonna
yeah,
be
yeah,
either people that are just like, whatever, no mask, we don't give a fuck.
yeah,
Or there's gonna be, people who are gonna be afraid of it and not wanna,
yeah,
do that. But
yeah.
I think either it's gonna pass through the summer and everybody's gonna be like, all right, we're hanging out, people aren't really catching COVID anymore, we can just do it. Or if this lasts until fall, then we're going until spring next year because once
Yeah,
people start getting colds
it
and
gets cold
sneezing and all that
again.
shit, it's
Yeah,
gonna be
for
right
sure.
back up to masks. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And I'm at the point now where I'm kind of like, we at some point we gotta, for our own sanity, you gotta try to get back to normal here.
Mhm.
Um, that's kind of where I'm at mentally. I'm like, I'm ready to, like, let's go. Let's get back to doing stuff. Like
Yeah.
I ran our first smoker event since all this shit's happened few weeks
Yeah, I
ago.
saw that. Yeah,
I'm gonna do
yeah.
another one May 1st. I'm actually gonna have allow this last one I didn't do spectators. I was just like
Hmm.
just did it for the people want to get back in the
Who want to
ring. People
fight.
are
Yeah.
training and stuff like that. So and people are bugging me about it, like, man, you should just have spectators. And I'm like, yeah, but it's not really for the people that want to come watch. I'm doing this for
It's
the
for the fighters and the
competitors,
coaches.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
that's who it's important for. So like I would rather have more people be able to be in the building and be here to actually compete than just sitting around
Hmm.
watching and shit. So I felt like that was
Yeah.
the better move. But this one we'll do competitors. I might run it like a club, and like
Hmm.
we're at capacity. You gotta wait till somebody leaves and like do some shit like that a little bit, and try
Yeah.
to like time it for people so they can kind of tell their people when to come, or we'll
Hmm.
see. It's all a process with this stuff right now. But
Yeah.
I'm excited to get them back going again, because I feel like we need it. Even the coaches need it. Like coaches need something to do, man.
Definitely.
We're like wartime generals, and when there's no wartime, it's like, what are we even doing with ourselves? Like,
Right.
the fight coaches, at least, obviously I'm teaching
Yeah.
my classes every day, but that's where I like to be. So yeah, so how did you and Jason Park link up?
Um, so when I came back from being in DC, I left and I moved back here, and I was supposed to be training with
With Alex,
Alex
right?
Palmer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And when I got here, unfortunately, he was back in jail again.
Oh shit.
And so I didn't have anywhere to train. That's actually how I ended up at Alliance Jiu Jitsu, because he was teaching Muay Thai there.
Yeah,
And he told me to go teach his classes there, and that's how I ended up even training at that gym. It just so
yeah.
happened that was the right fit for me,
Right, right.
Um, but because Jason knew that I was coming to train with Alex, and he had spoken to another one of Alex's students, Gio. And I was talking to Gio at the time. He's the one who told me that, excuse me, that he was in jail. And then I guess Gio and Jason spoke. He told him about me, and then Jason reached out to me. I didn't even know who he was. I didn't have his number or anything.
Yeah.
He reached out to me, and he was like, "Hey, I know you just flew, or I drove across the country, to train with Alex. And I understand the situation. If you need anything, hit me up. If you need a place to train, hit me up. I'm here." And I was like, "Okay." And then maybe like a couple months later, maybe like June, like not June, January, February-ish.
Yeah.
Me and Gio went up there to LA. Jason was running his program out of Boxing Works.
Right.
And yeah, I went up there, trained with him, met him up there, and it seemed like a cool dude. He knew what he was talking about.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I'll come up every once in a while and train. And then it just kind of built from there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And that's a hell of a gym
Dude,
to be in too, man.
They're all savages over there at Boxing Works, man.
Yeah, like everybody's good.
Yeah.
But Brian's such a smart guy. I got to know him a little bit from the
Very
from
smart.
traveling to
Very
IFMA and
smart.
stuff like that. Just
yeah,
really cool. Yeah, just training some fucking killers, man. They got some killers over there.
Yeah, they really do. Janet is fucking savage, dude.
Yeah,
Janet,
yeah.
Jackie,
fucking
Johnny. Johnny got to do Johnny over there.
Yeah, Johnny's
good.
Dope. Nathan.
Yeah, Nate's good too. I haven't seen Nate in a while. I gotta bug him.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet that's great training. I have there's actually a southpaw kid there named Steve that came up with me here too. He trains over there sometimes.
Is he like long hair? Yeah, I sparred with him when I went up there. Yeah,
he's good, right?
Yeah, he's
Technical,
good. He's good. Yeah, it's funny how you said southpaw, and it's just like I went through the Rolodex of people.
Yeah.
He's one of the few that's there, but yeah, he's good. He's real good.
He's dope, man. I'm sure he's gotten tremendously better being there too, for sure.
Yeah.
I get them southpaws vicious though.
Yeah.
That's my shit.
That's true. I know you love it.
Yeah, I love the southpaws, man. Yeah, Steve was awesome. I think I talked to about him a little bit actually when I was talking to Shane also, because Shane goes out there to train sometimes.
Yeah, he goes to Boxing Works. Yeah.
And I was asking him if he had met Steve, and he was like, "Yeah, I think so." But yeah, Steve I had just gotten Steve. He's one of those guys really fucking good in the room, and just didn't really have the desire to like compete. And then and I never push people to compete. I'm like, if you want to fight, then you tell me, and then I'm gonna be on you. But if you don't, I'll just, it is what it is. It's good to have people in the room too.
Definitely.
And then one day he was like, I think I'm ready to do a smoke. I was like, fuck yeah, let's go. And then he we have our little southpaw kick system. Because he was a little nervous, and I was like, let's just fucking follow the system. I'll call out the target areas and just fire the kicks, and he's like, all right, just smoke this guy in the first round. And
there you go.
I was so excited. And then like 2 or 3 weeks later, he's like, Coach, I got a job offer in California. And I was like, no. but man, I was so excited for him because, I was like, who the hell doesn't want to live in California anyway, first of all.
Right.
And then he asked me like where to train, and I knew he was going to be out that way. So I told him to go to Boxing Works and stuff like that. So it all worked out,
Definitely worked out.
Gotta send all the love to the Ronin martial artists out there trying to find a home, man. You got to find somewhere to go sometimes, and I'm glad he found a home there.
Definitely.
So what?
Shout out to Shane too, because he a few people sent me something on Instagram. I don't know if it was like a recent fight tips video he did or something old.
Yeah.
But a few people sent me a video of him showing like a long uppercut, and he mentioned me and Alex in the video. So shout out to him for that.
Hell yeah. Dude, that's like the Midas touch too, man. I feel like you need it, because you've built a very organic following too, which is cool. Now you've done a great job. I've always been impressed with it obviously comes down to personality for one, but what shows through also in your work. You have a unique style with the way that you photograph. even the way
Yeah.
that even the way you set yourself up in your and like the self portraits and stuff like that. Always I
Yeah.
always dig it, man. I like your stuff.
Thank you. Thank you.
And obviously is other people do too. You got
Yeah.
some followers on the gram. You got some people checking your stuff out.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish I sometimes, man, I wish it wasn't as important, you know? Like it's weird because as much as I care about like creating something cool
Yeah,
on social media, I also hate it too, you
I
know?
understand.
Like I hate that I have to
100%.
think about it. I hate that I have to put so much effort into it.
Yep.
But sometimes I think of it as like, you know, I at least more recently, I'm thinking about it less of something that I have to do and more of like me just being as creative as possible with myself and the images that I can create.
Yeah.
Same thing with like when I'm doing graphic design, just be as creative as I can, you know, and just make sure it looks good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all you can do, brother. And I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
at this point, you've done the hard work because like I feel the same way. Like I think you just reach a point at at a point where you're just like it's pressure a little bit. Like you said, it's hard to like
Yeah.
keep because you feel like if you're an artist, you do it because it's like stuff that like you want to do. And then
Yeah.
the second that it becomes something that you feel like you have to do, it's not the same
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
So I've dialed back a lot on doing graphic design for other
Hmm.
people.
Yeah.
Because I started feeling like I was giving away not necessarily the designs even, but just like the energy, the energy that goes into creating. I
Yes.
was giving it away to
Yes.
other people. Even for
Hmm.
money, it's kind of like I don't you run out sometimes, I think, and you're just like, I gotta hold on to some of this for me,
Yeah.
and create stuff for myself. So I definitely get
Definitely.
that.
Hmm.
I had a point with that even with the memes. Like I felt like I was making all these memes
You're
like
making some good ones, dude.
all the time, just making tons of memes, and then and then just like all one day I just didn't really want to do it anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And people would always be like, "Yo, what's up? When do you want to come back with some more memes?" I'm like, I don't know. I
Yeah.
just eventually you
Because
just
it's
hit a
not fun
wall. Some
anymore.
not fun,
Yeah.
and yeah, it was fun. I was having a blast with it at first. Uh, and and I liked them because I knew what they were making people like laugh and stuff, which is
Yeah.
awesome. If you can put
Yeah.
something out there that's like actually giving people some happiness, that's always dope.
Definitely.
But yeah, I don't know why, but I kind of got burnt out on them, and then I just like, I don't really feel like doing these anymore. So I definitely
Yeah.
get that. You got to figure out ways to recharge, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. I usually do um a day or two during the week where I don't really look at, so I don't post anything on social media and I try not to look at anything. I'll
Yeah,
still respond to like DMs and stuff because I'm in a couple group chats, but other than that, like I try to do like 2 days where I'm just not posting anything on any social media, try not to look at it.
yeah,
And I'm trying not to make new shit. Like I don't really fuck with Twitter. I'm not making a fucking TikTok and start doing that
right,
shit. You know,
right,
it's
right.
like
Just
Instagram
more
is
to
pretty
deal with.
simple and easy
Yeah,
for me. I'm just gonna stay there.
yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel you on that. Yeah, I think during the pandemic, the social media started like giving me anxiety because there was so much,
Same.
just like
Same.
it was so much bad energy on there, right?
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
because it was everything became like, and I totally understand. A lot of it was stuff that I feel like we needed to get out, like as a country,
Hmm.
there were some arguments and there were some things that like needed to be had that I think in the long run are going to do us all a lot of good. But then there was just like a lot of like, just what the fuck, shut up. A lot of times on there, I'm just like,
Yeah,
I couldn't
definitely.
deal with it anymore. It was like people were just getting on there to like disagree with each other about simple things, sometimes even too,
Yeah.
you know. And that, so I actually, it's funny is I actually started, that kind of led to this in a way because I started skipping Instagram and Facebook and started just going on YouTube a lot more.
Hmm.
And I was going on YouTube and looking at shit that I like, you know what I mean? Like I was like in full control. And then slowly my YouTube screen started filling up with other suggested things that
Yep.
were like the stuff that I was watching. So I was like, this is way better.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I was like, and I'd been wanting to do this for a while, and so I was like, you know what, I need to get on there, and I'm seeing how some of these YouTubers live too, and I was like, oh, I need to get a piece of that.
Exactly. Get some of that Jake Paul money.
Man, it's wild,
Yeah.
man. I like went down a rabbit hole with all those guys. Like I was just because then I started like really getting into like the it's just like martial arts or anything else. Like you want to like understand it fully,
Yeah.
like so I
Yeah.
started watching all these like big influencers content, just kind of like I especially liked going back and then like watching how their stuff changed over the years, like
Mm.
seeing like how people started off to get to the point where they are now. And I
Yeah.
think one of the coolest things is you see a lot of them started off like doing shit that they would probably never do in a million years now to
Yeah.
get that audience built. And now they're all like just doing only what they want to do, which I feel like
Yeah.
that's like the ultimate like dream of any human being on earth,
Definitely.
is to like get to a
Yeah.
place where people are just excited to see you do what you want to do. You know what I
Yep.
mean? So I think
Yep.
that's why I kind of fell in love with YouTube for that. Like I started really like digging all that
Hmm.
stuff, watching all these people. Like I really, have you ever seen any of the guy Mr. Beast videos?
Mr. Beast? No, I don't think so.
Man, he's all, I've been putting everybody onto him, which is funny because I feel like I've been putting a lot of people onto him from like the
Hmm.
martial arts circle.
Hmm.
Because obviously in YouTube he's huge. I think he's got like 55 million subscribers.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, he's big time with that shit.
What does he do?
So his initial ones were like one of his videos, he said Logan Paul 100,000 times. Like he just sat
Hmm.
there and said Logan Paul 100,000 times. Um,
Why?
I don't know. But
And I
he
bet you
did
that video has like a million views.
millions and millions.
Like for what?
Exactly. I know. Well, and can you imagine sitting there and sitting through it even too, just to watch it? But like he did a bunch of like wild stuff like that, and then what was cool about him, and why he's like my favorite guy on here now, is the second he like got like monetized and started actually making some money, like his first
Mhm.
like sponsor video money, the guy got like 10 grand, he like gave it
Mhm.
to a homeless guy. And then
Oh,
like
nice.
every video he's just like, and sometimes a lot of them it's just like his boys, but he'll be like you have an hour to spend 10 grand, and he gives them all
Mhm.
$10,000, and they have an hour to go buy whatever they want. So you're just kind of
Mhm.
watching people just super happy to go spend his money and shit. And that money's all his,
Right.
he takes the money that he gets from the ads, and then
And
just,
does those videos with them.
yeah, and
Yeah.
does videos like
I might
that.
have seen I might have seen one of those kinds of
You
videos. I
probably
don't know
have.
who it was from, but I
Yeah.
remember seeing something like that. Maybe it was him.
Yeah, it's really cool, and he's got his little crew of guys that he like obviously grew up with, and everybody's like doing good. He does like crazy challenges, like last person to take their hand off this house gets to keep it,
Hmm.
and they fucking literally I don't know if he probably just rents it or something, because I know
Yeah.
he's making a shitload of money.
Yeah.
Um, then they did one where uh they had a big ass block of money. It was $1 million. Last person to take
Mhm.
their hand off the $1 million got to keep it. So his like ad revenue is going through the roof, and but
Yeah.
he's smart because he takes it and gives it to people and gets all the views, and then I'm sure he's cleaning up there.
Getting it more.
He's
Yeah.
getting it
Yeah.
more there from the views, because yeah, he's got, like I said, 50 million subscribers, and he's getting millions and millions of views on these videos and stuff. Just really fucking smart. And I think he's like 24 or something.
Oh wow. Okay.
And that crazy? Yeah, that's the
Yeah, that
other
is
thing that's
crazy.
just like, man, had like so yeah, I got really into like not just the content, but like the structure and like the attack plan
Yeah.
that these guys use to like start and then get to where they're going and stuff like that. Just very interesting to me. And it was a
You
good
know,
distraction from all the craziness that's been going on the last year.
yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. You know what's interesting though is that there's a whole other side of YouTube that I have no idea about, like that side.
Yeah.
Because some of my friends are like, yeah, I grew up watching this person's YouTube and that person's YouTube, and they're like naming all these people I've never heard of in
Right.
my
That's
life. But then you
crazy,
look
right?
at their profiles, and they have like 100 million people subscribed to them or something.
It's
I'm just
wild.
like, how is it that I don't even know who these people are?
I know.
But
It's
all the
definitely a
shit that I
whole
watch is
universe, like
like,
you said. Yeah.
yeah, but then all the shit that I watch is like, there's obviously like Joe Rogan clips on there and stuff, Bazooka Joe's thing, channel, Wonder Boy's channel.
Mm.
But then like I talk about Marquez Brownlee, MKBHD. I talk
Yeah.
about him all the time, and
Yeah.
everybody's like, "Who the fuck is that?" And I'm like,
Right.
"Dude,
Right.
he's the fucking biggest tech YouTuber that there is, and he's
Yeah.
black. How the fuck don't you know about
Yeah. I
him?"
know you're talking about. I know him. Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like, but most people have no idea who he is. So it's like
Yeah.
it's so interesting to me that YouTube is literally like curated for you, and you
Yes.
can go a very long time not even entering into all these other like spaces that there are,
Yeah.
but everybody can like have their own lane,
Right.
and you don't need everyone to know who you are. Whereas like I feel like popular culture has made it to where like you have to be known by everyone in
Everybody.
order to
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
a millionaire or have money or have some kind of status.
Right.
And it just, you got these kids who grew up on YouTube making whatever content they want, just being funny and being themselves, and they get, people to watch them.
Or
It's
even just
crazy.
very niche, like you said, like
Yeah.
Marcus where they're like very they have a very particular thing, and it's
Yeah.
something that you got to be interested in.
Yeah.
But it becomes like this whole like subgroup of people all over the country
Hmm.
and world possibly that are all tuning in to like watch this, and it becomes like a
Yeah.
community, and that's like I'm noticing, like that's like one of the most valuable things in the world right now is having an audience, like
Yeah.
being able to build an audience that's all like they're all into what you're doing, like what your thing is, what's most interesting to them.
Hmm.
Like I said, I think that's where like I said, literally kind of like fell in love with YouTube, because I realized that like what you're just talking about, the if you go on Instagram, the influencers and people that are on there, it's all the same shit. It's like, here I am at this I'm in Bali this weekend, and you know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
it's all the same content.
Yeah.
It's not like niche. They're just, here's a photo of me in this awesome place. Here's me in a Lamborghini. Here's me doing this, like just living, So like
Yeah.
that's their thing or whatever. And it just, but then, and not to say that some of the YouTube people aren't doing stuff like that too, but I mean, like,
Right.
there's very particular shit, like that you can tune in and
Yeah.
watch and like get into and stuff like that. It's just, I don't know, it's been more fun for me. And I'm like, that was part of what, like I said, kind of inspired me to get off my ass and start doing my stuff with my channel. Cause I'm like, if I can build that audience too, um, I just started thinking of all the good that could be done with it, like
Yeah.
get to millions of subscribers, like, well, hey, here's this idea I have for this thing. Hey, check out my friend here. That, like, I like that a lot of them, when they get on, they help their other people get on too, that kind of connect
Yeah.
with them and stuff like that. And yeah, that audience is just such a major currency now. It's an exciting time to, and you just sit right here in my office and just do the work. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So what's going on with you now? Like, what do you got? I know you got fights on the horizon and stuff like that.
Yes.
Just kind of training right now, getting ready for things
Hmm.
like that. You had a fight with Bellator. You did really awesome with that.
Yeah.
Had a little
Yeah. Thank
highlight
you.
reel finish on there.
I did. Yeah. What's crazy about that too, man? I wa- I watched that video again after not seeing it for a while, like a couple months, maybe like 7, 8 months. I haven't watched that clip at all.
Yeah.
And then I don't remember if somebody sent it to me or someone said something about it. But I watched it again, and it's so weird because, and maybe you've gotten like this too, or maybe some of your fighters have said something similar to you, but it's like you watch other people fight, and even if it's not like the prettiest or it's not perfect, it still looks good. But
Mhm.
then you watch yourself, and I'm just like criticizing myself in my head, like, dude, what the fuck was that? What is
Yeah,
this? What was
yeah,
that?
yeah. Yeah.
And then I remember watching it, and then I thought about what Kieran from Coach K from CSA said to me. I went up there maybe like 2 months after that fight to train, and I asked him what he thought about it, if he could give me any pointers, and he goes, "What do you need pointers for? The
Yeah.
fight was 44 seconds." I was like, "Yeah, but like, I feel like I could have done this better, done that better." He's like, "Yeah, you could have, but you won, right? You knocked the
Yeah.
dude out, right? So what the fuck?"
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? You're right. I have to like just accept that. I can still want to improve and get better at certain things, but I can also, accept that I had a good performance and not have to criticize everything that I do.
Yeah. I think that's a gift and the curse of being talented though too.
Yeah.
Like because Patrick's like that too. Patrick
Yeah.
dissects everything. He could have a
Yeah.
flawless fight and he'd be like, I didn't do this one
Something.
thing. My hand was down in this place. Patrick.
Yep.
He's
Yep.
gonna
Yep.
shit on his stuff. And Aaron's the same way. Aaron's very
Yeah.
similar. Like
Yeah.
I'm like, you just want fucking this and that. And she's like, no, I was terrible. I'm like,
Yeah.
just can't, it's hard to enjoy it. I know I'm sure they say that it exists in men too, but it's like predominantly a syndrome that women have. Have you ever heard of imposter syndrome?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
Where they
Yeah.
like they automatically believe that everything was like luck, like
Yeah.
everything was
Yeah.
like Aaron,
Like,
so
this is not
Aaron's
supposed to
been
happen. This
battling.
isn't for
Yeah, it's just
me.
like,
Yeah.
oh, I just got lucky and this and that. And
Yeah.
Aaron like deals with that a lot, and I'm like,
Yeah.
it's too many good things have happened at this point for it to all be
Yeah.
coincidental. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? Like I think
Right.
you're pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But I get it. It's just the brain, how the brain works sometimes. Just.
Yeah.
But I think I think it also, that's why I say it's a gift and a curse, because it also forces you, like, you're like trying to do better the next time
Yeah.
every time, and that's kind of what
Right.
makes you really good too. So it sucks because
Definitely.
it's like it comes with an anchor. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's what pushes you. It's like not necessarily you don't need that push from an outside source like a coach or a mentor or something like that. It's like it's
Right.
coming internally, and then it's
Hmm.
obviously creating good results. So you just kind of gotta
Yeah.
hang in there.
Exactly.
So you're doing more graphic design stuff like that these days too.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, my job is a lot of video editing right now, so I spend a lot of
Nice.
time doing that, and then I on the side I'm freelancing more graphic design work,
Yeah.
because it's easy for me to do when I want to do it, as opposed
Right.
to like trying to like coach on the side, because there's like windows of time, and I can't do it when I'm at home as like a thing to do
Right.
when I'm not doing anything. I have to be outside at the gym somewhere training or holding pads for somebody, or
Yeah.
whatever. So I still do that with select people, like people I care about who are fighting and stuff like that. I'll still do privates, but most of the time I'm just graphic design, video editing, sitting in front of my nice ultra wide monitor over here.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, because for a while you're not with the Google anymore, right? That was.
No. Well, I guess indirectly, but no.
Yeah.
No. So I work for a company called Ezoic.
Uh-huh.
It's a artificial intelligence company for ads. So they like
Oh wow.
help, yeah, with learning how different users. It's actually a really interesting company, but learning how each individual user browses the internet,
Uh-huh.
and then like, what's the word, shaping their advertising experience to that unique person.
Nice.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they
So
do it
it's
on
kind of
on
interesting. It's
all like
basically like,
social media or YouTube or just everything.
so think about it like this. Instagram has their version of that. YouTube has their
Yep.
version of that.
Yep.
Facebook, all these different social media platforms have their own version of that, but this is for the internet.
Oh wow.
Right. Not
Damn.
just a single website or app. It's
Big dog
for,
shit.
right. Yeah. Yeah.
Damn.
So obviously, people have to enter their websites into this program, and then, it helps with that. So they have a lot of courses and stuff. So I'm just, they create, before the pandemic happened, like I was in the headquarters office, like in the studio with them, making the videos and
Yeah.
directing everything and doing all that. And then that hit. So then it became all virtual. So now everybody just sends me all the fucking videos and I got to edit it, which is good and bad sometimes. But, it's, I feel like it's less work in some ways, more work in others.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can definitely do it because I know I'm like in your head, like that sounds like the dream.
It
Like
is.
I'll just
It
chill at
is.
home. They just send me all my work. But I
Yeah.
know I definitely am more productive in certain spaces. So like
Yeah.
I can understand I'll come to the gym and sit in my office to like do work. Like
Yeah.
I used to be better at working at home. I did, but the pandemic kind of fucked that up for me a little bit. Like
Yeah. Because
mentally,
then
it
you just
doesn't.
start chilling and shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not a workspace anymore at all
No,
now
it's not.
because before I think before all this happened, I felt like I was able to work there because I honestly didn't spend that much time there. So it didn't
Right.
just feel like my place where I rested at because I was
Yeah.
actually probably at the gym more and I really just would go home to like eat and chill out for a little bit, take a nap and
Right.
come back here. But after
Yeah.
the pandemic, like being in there, like I started finding because I was having a hard time working there
Mhm.
during that too. So now it's like a little tougher. So I definitely get that. I'll
Yeah.
come to the gym to like do my work, you know?
Yeah. If not for the
Even when
ultra
I went,
wide, I would
yeah.
probably be
Oh
somewhere
yeah.
else
Well,
too.
and that, and you know what, that might be it too, because I got the 27-inch
IMAX.
Mac
Yeah.
iMac. So I'm
Yeah.
like, that helps too, because I'm like, I want to be
Yeah. It
sitting in
does.
front of this and
It
sound like
does. Instead of that little
my
laptop.
little laptop.
Exactly.
Looking like a giant trying to type on a little thing.
Right.
I feel like um yeah, it's but then it's funny. I do all my so I've been bullshitting on. I don't know if I ever told you this, but like I
Mm.
write like screenplays and like graphic
Oh shit!
novels.
For real?
So that's like that's the other reason why I've like I said, I've kind of envisioned myself eventually moving to San Diego, because that's really what
Ah,
that's like the ultimate. That's what I want to finish doing. I'm not going to be a fight coach forever.
I didn't know that. So you help people like write their stories for comics and stuff like that?
I'm writing my own stuff.
Oh, you're writing your own shit. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I'm
Okay.
just writing my own stuff. So, and
Yeah.
I've been bullshitting on it for years now. I haven't really like I'll write some stuff and then I'll move on to another project because I like
Hmm.
mentally jump around. But I've been like honing in a lot more lately, and and then I finally actually even decided like on one project to like really focus on. So
Yeah.
but I do all that on my iPad for some reason. I'm like because I guess because with writing, I feel like whenever something strikes me, like I have to do it right then. Like it's not something I
Yeah.
can put off and like, well, I'll just write this down later. Like I'm like, I gotta hurry up and get this down. So I've been like
Hmm.
using that. So that I guess that's like the only time where I'll sometimes be sitting on the couch till 3 a.m. like
Just
click
typing
typing
some stuff.
away. Yeah.
Yeah.
But other than
Well,
that,
that's
yeah,
cool. No, I never knew that. That's dope.
man, I'm telling you, if this fucking I have this. So it's a graphic novel basically,
Hmm.
uh slash, comic book, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Um and like it's like really expansive. That's what's been taking me so long to like sink my teeth into it, because I keep coming up with more pieces to it.
Hmm.
But I think I found a place to like I had to like really sit down and like find a place to like enter and then like
Hmm.
introduce like the rest of the world to this universe, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
But I think I got it now, and like so I'm like just working away at it, and then
Yeah.
the other hard part was, and that was the other reason why like I feel like I want to be out there sometimes, because it's harder to find people here that are. I feel like everybody out there is like they're there for something. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or not
Yeah. Unless they
everybody,
grew up
but
here.
a lot of people. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but I feel like there's a lot of people, yeah, that are moving out there that are like, and then that's where you see all the collaboration stuff, even
Yeah.
like with YouTube and influencers and all that stuff, because people are like,
Hmm.
oh shit, you're trying to do this too, like let's link up and do. So and I've been hitting people up on Instagram like crazy, like artists, because I grew up reading comic books too, so I have like a very
Yeah.
particular in my mind like how I want it to look also.
Right.
And most of them have all been like, yeah, I'm busy, man. Like I do this, and they're working on their own shit. So I'm not
Right.
mad at them. And
Yeah.
I finally found one guy that he's got his own his name's Chris Jones. I'm gonna shout out Chris Jones real quick.
Hmm.
Chris Jones, super artist on Instagram. He's got a really awesome take on Thor that he's doing.
Okay.
That's like more like Viking-ish,
Hmm.
like more like in that realm, like less, it's not like Marvel's Thor. It's like
Right.
it looks like a Viking, and it's
Yeah.
like more like a little more like that lore, like
Right.
historic type. I don't know. It's fucking tight though, and his artwork
Yeah.
is incredible. Like he's
You
super
said his
dope.
name is Chris
Chris
Jones.
Jones, super artist.
I'm gonna check that
Um,
out right now while you're talking.
but yeah, so I reached out to him. I've reached out to him a couple times. I
Hmm.
just really like his stuff. I knew he has like a Patreon, and I like became like a Patreon subscriber to him. So just because like either way,
Oh shit.
he's tight, right?
Yeah, dude, that's fucking dope.
He draws like big, strong, fucking muscle guys and stuff. Like that's kind of his style. But like, I think if you flip through it, you can see he can do pretty much everything. He did a cool version of King Kong the other day, and
Yeah, yeah, I'm
just
looking at that right now
the
too.
color,
Yeah,
the
he
way
does a lot
he
of like
inks it,
it's superhero stuff, but it's like it's
it's kind of grounded too, though.
yeah, like it looks yeah, this shit looks good, dude.
And that's
Yeah,
the thing. That's the other thing too. Is like I don't know why, but I've the second I messaged him a couple times and asked him about like hiring him, because I'm not asking anybody to like, hey man, just draw this for me, I'm gonna write it and we'll see what
right.
happens. Like everyone that I've approached, I've been like, look, I'll fucking pay you. Like I
Yeah,
like your work, so I wanted to look a certain way.
right,
And he's the first one who's like actually been like, yeah man, like let me know when your stuff's ready and you want to move forward and stuff. So and I feel like if it looks like that and it has this story that I really believe in too, I think it could be
yeah, I think
something.
it'll be
So
good. Yeah,
I'm really excited for it. So I'm like fucking just writing like a mad person now that I have that
yeah,
um kind of a finish line in mind. So
yeah.
yeah, so we'll see what happens. I think the ultimate goal will be to like get, if he'll do a whole graphic novel and it's not going to be like $50,000 or something like that, then I can
Yeah,
afford to do it, then I'll do the whole thing. But at the
yeah.
very least, I think I wanted to have him just at least do an issue and then put
Hmm.
it up and then start shopping it around and maybe even do a Kickstarter or something to finish the whole first graphic novel or whatever I got to do.
Yeah,
But then the ultimate goal is to like get it, be a series on like a Netflix or HBO Max or something like that, and then just
yeah.
expand out from there, man. Then I'm gonna have to come out and see you in California, big dog, 'cause that's where I'm gonna have to be.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely. This is the place, man. This is the
yeah,
place.
that's where it's going on, man. That's where I feel like it's on. Then we'll get you a part, huh? You gonna do some acting for me too?
Dude, you know what's funny is that I want to. I do. I want.
You
That's something
should.
I've always wanted
I
to
feel
do.
like you got the look and you got the temperament. Yeah. I
That's
feel like you'd be
that's what I
great.
wanted to do for a long time. I've always been like, yeah, I want to act one day. But I figured if I punch people in the face well enough, I can pull a GSP and end up, end up in a
Fucking
movie
smart,
somewhere.
brother. Absolutely, man. That's the cool
Yeah,
thing about MMA these days is it's like,
yeah.
it's a gateway drug to a bunch of other cool stuff.
To a bunch of other shit. Yeah. So, and it doesn't need like I don't but I also don't want to like do like the action movies. Those would be cool,
Yeah.
but I don't want to do that. I want to do like more serious stuff. Like
Yeah.
somebody that I look at when I think about switching from doing one thing to another is like ASAP Rocky, for example.
Yeah.
Like he was in the music fashion thing, and then now he's like slowly starting to dabble in acting stuff.
Hmm.
And he's kind of playing a character that's close to him. So it's
Yeah.
not as crazy, but I feel like, I would want to do something that has absolutely nothing to do with fighting. Just be like a random character. I don't even have that many lines, but just
Right.
like just get myself out there in
Yeah.
that. But
Yeah.
in due time, I got to
Yeah, for
take some
sure.
acting classes and all that shit too.
Yeah, I remember I was watching a thing with I was watching an interview with Chadwick Boseman, and he was
Hmm.
forget what it was. I think he was talking to Kevin Hart, and Kevin Hart was talking to him about doing, oh man, I just hit me something just now. It's super sad too. But yeah, so he was talking to Kevin Hart about Kevin Hart was talking about doing Downtown Saturday Night, like doing a remake with all
Yes, I
the
remember. And they were on the phone, or was
yeah.
it in
Well, they
person?
met
And
in
he was like,
person, and
yeah.
he was like let me get back to you and this and that. Fuck,
And
it
then he
just
called
hit
him after
me
that, I think,
that
right? Yeah.
he probably, because I thought it was weird that he wasn't just like on it, because they were saying how many other people were going to be in it, and they basically
Yeah.
wanted Chadwick to be like the Sidney Poitier of this version. And
Oh,
I was like, man,
yeah.
why? I'm surprised he's not jumping on that, because that's like everyone would be so excited if he would. But now it makes sense. Now I just fucking hit me that he probably was like, he knew, man. Fuck, that's super
Yeah.
sad.
He wasn't gonna be able to finish it, probably.
Damn,
Yeah.
just hit me just now. Fuck, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
But yeah, he had this one really get myself together here, man. I took that one hard when he passed, man. I really liked him.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Um
felt that one too. I don't really feel stuff when celebrities and stuff like that died, but I felt that one because I felt like he was a genuinely good person.
yeah, and he was like, he seemed
Yeah.
like a guy you would just know. You know what I mean? Like somebody
Yeah.
you'd be like,
Yeah.
"Yo, Chadwick's fucking in all the movies, man. That's so
Yeah.
tight," you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was saying something to Kevin about um I think he had got offered a role, and like Denzel was going to be in the movie, whatever it
Hmm.
was.
Yeah.
And he said no, because they were asking him something about, like how he picked his movies and this and that. And he was saying how important it was. He learned early on to say
Hmm.
no to certain projects. And because he was like, I didn't want to get like typecast, and I
Oh
was like,
yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
he was
Yeah.
saying how he was saying how everyone around him was like, yeah, but like Denzel's gonna be in it, and he was like, yeah, but I don't, I want to meet him when I'm doing something different than that. And I was like,
Yeah.
man, that's so tight, like he just,
Hmm.
that he had the foresight to just, I'm he did he that was when you realized he was what you're talking about, where he's like, he wasn't just doing it just to be a guy in the movies and be a famous
Right.
actor. Like
Right.
he was doing roles that actually meant something to him.
That meant something. And you
And
look at all his movies, like they were all like movies that mean something, that are
yes,
about someone that meant something, or that means something in itself. Like
yeah,
Black Panther, like that's a great fucking movie. Thurgood
yeah,
Marshall, you know what I
yeah.
mean? Like all these great
Get on
movies
up,
about,
play James
right,
Brown. Yeah,
James Brown, yeah. So it's like when you stick to those kind of things, you can tell what kind of guy he is.
yeah.
And it
Play
sucked.
Jackie
It definitely sucked
Robinson.
to see
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
yeah.
Jackie Robinson too.
Yeah, man. I'm still like, I can't imagine what those movies look like without him. Even, it's just like such a
Yeah,
weird situation. And they
yeah,
say they got a plan for it, but I'm just like, I don't know. That's wild though.
yeah. It
Um,
is.
yeah, well, that's dope, man. I hope you look into that. I've always, I've always said I got my people that no matter what, like once if I get in the door, I'm like, hey, you
Hmm.
trying to be on
Everybody's
this?
getting in the door. Yeah, but that's how it is,
Yeah,
right?
that's how it's got to
That's how it
be,
should
man.
be. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how it should be.
So I'm hoping. I think a lot of the work that I do, that's like, people fantasize about, having money and being good and all that stuff. And obviously I have those same thoughts too, but
Sure.
always like the main thing, I'm always just like, oh, come on, come on, come on, come on.
Bring
Like
everybody
trying to
with
get
you. Yeah.
everybody in, because I feel like that's
Hmm.
what makes it so much more sweet is, you get there with all the people that you want to be around and stuff like that.
Like they always say,
Um,
right? It's no fun being at the top if your friends ain't with you.
Yeah, man, it's 100% true. Especially if you got
Yeah,
some real ones with you. That's for damn sure.
exactly. Exactly.
So, man, you're the other day. It's crazy. I was
What's
like
that?
on Instagram, and you popped up on my screen in the Hayabusa
Yeah.
commercial. I was like,
Dude,
yo,
that's so interesting. Shout out to my boy, Courtney Henderson. He runs Hendo Studios out here in
yeah,
San Diego.
very familiar with
Um,
him. I met him at Alliance a long time ago.
yeah, yeah, he was
Yeah,
shooting
yeah,
at Alliance, I'm sure. Yeah, that's how he got started.
yep,
And I met him around that time too, like 2014, 2015. He first started shooting. But yeah, man, Courtney hit me up. He's worked with Hayabusa before, and he was like, "Yo, they need some fighters." And I suggested you. come, let's talk about it. Let's talk to them, see what works. And we talked to them. They liked me. Everything was cool. So we ended up doing it. And talking about, bringing your friends with you. Yasmin was out here. She had just moved out here.
Yeah.
And, he was like, yo, I need a female fighter to do this. And I was like, Yasmin just moved out here. Fuck it. Let's
Yeah.
give her an opportunity. I was like, yo,
Yeah.
Yasmin, you want to do a photo shoot?
Hell
She's like,
yeah.
when is it? Fuck yeah, let's do it.
That's
So she
so
got on one of
dope.
them too.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
so
I think
excited.
she got on another one. I think she's in her second one now.
I've seen two, because the
Yeah.
first one I saw both of you were in, so I was like, my head exploded. I was like that emoji. I was like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then I was like, yo, that's so tight. And
Yeah.
then I saw another one had popped up, and I was like, oh, I got to screen record this one,
Yeah.
so I can post it. And in that
It was me
one,
and
just you
it was
were.
me and
Yeah.
Justin Berry. Yeah. Yeah.
So then I think the other one popped up again. And I made sure I got that one that time so I could post it and
Yeah.
shout y'all out, man. I was super excited. That's dope. So that came
Yeah.
about through Courtney.
Through Courtney.
Did he
Yeah.
shoot that?
Courtney. He did the photos, and then his friend Kevin, he's done a lot. Like, he does a lot of really good video work.
Yeah.
Kevin came and did the video side.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, that's dope, man. Yeah, I think I met Courtney when I was there doing some filming for Lloyd, and saw what Courtney was doing, and in my mind I was like, yeah, that's I'm in the same zone, kind of like I want to move out
Yeah.
here at some point and do the same thing, kind of. So it was always awesome to watch his journey.
Yeah.
I just watched a video the other day that he posted about the whole monster thing, and I didn't know his,
Yeah.
obviously I'm sure a lot of people didn't know that, unless you were like real close to him, like all the
Yeah.
craziness he's been through over the years. So it's
Yeah.
even cooler to see him have a studio and everything going good for him now, because if you watch that video, you'll see he had a tough path too, man.
He did, man. He
What
really
the
did.
hell?
But the good thing about it is, just like any person who does good, no matter what bad happens to you, you'll still end up in the right place. And
Yeah.
even though he's been in some bad spots, he's done the right things. He's always been a good guy, stand-up dude.
Yeah.
Doesn't do people dirty in a business where a lot of people get done dirty.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any scumbag moves, and treats everybody with respect. And good things are coming from him. I'm not gonna put his business out there, but he has a
Yeah.
lot of really, really big opportunities coming here in San Diego with the studio. So I'm happy for him, man.
That's
I'm really happy.
great. Yeah, I got to
Yeah.
reach out to. He probably doesn't even remember me because we met very much in passing. But
You'd be
I gotta reach
surprised,
out to
dude. He
him.
remembers faces really well.
Yeah, I'm sure he's a damn photographer. He's got one of the best eyes I've ever seen too, man. His
Yeah,
photographs are incredible.
absolutely.
Yeah, I have to reach out to him sometime, see if I can get him on here. I'd love to have him on, and
Oh yeah, absolutely.
that'd be sick.
So if you
Man.
ever end up flying out here, you should do your podcast at his studio. That would be fucking
Oh,
sick.
that's a great idea. Yeah, I'm definitely
Yeah.
gonna start because I'm getting my little second shot thing or whatever. So then I feel like,
Oh, you got the vaccine?
yeah, so I'm like, nobody can tell
Okay.
me nothing
Okay.
now. I'm good. I'll still mask up and be safe or whatever. But I'm trying to hit the road a little bit once I get that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to the that next triumphant show in Miami for sure. So they
Dude,
got,
I'm really thinking about going, man.
man.
I
Yeah,
knew
that's
about
right.
that
That's
Kevin
right.
fight.
Yeah.
I knew about that one. When I heard about that, I was like, oh, dude, I gotta go to this one,
That's gonna be
man.
fire.
I wasn't gonna go because originally it was supposed to be a different date, and that date I couldn't do it. But then I saw this one, and I was like, oh shit, I might have to go to Miami for that one, dude.
Yeah,
That's
because it
gonna be
was
a good
initially in
fucking
May.
fight.
That was supposed to be in
Yeah,
May,
it
that
was.
event.
Okay, I didn't
Yeah.
know if that was public information. I didn't want to say
No,
that.
well, I
Yeah.
knew because I knew from Jeff, the guy who
Okay.
runs the show.
Okay.
But yeah,
Yeah.
that's fire. Yeah, I'm really excited for that. And I know if that's the main event, I guarantee you there's gonna be a bunch of other really good fights on there
Oh,
too.
dude,
Um,
it's gonna be a
I
good fucking card.
I wish. So Erin's been helping me with the gym, pretty much. Well, not helping me. Erin's basically been running the gym. Since all this stuff went down, and
Yeah.
we're slowly trying to like get her back into her normal swing of things and get her back to training
Yeah.
and stuff like that. She's saved my life, man. But yeah, I want to fuck, I wish she could fight on this card, but we're gonna
Yeah.
get her back in her. I think Gary's probably gonna be back toward the end of the
Yeah,
summer. Yeah, so
dude, I'm
on the
excited to see
next
that fucking
one,
dude fight,
hopefully
dude.
we'll
Yeah.
have them both in the game a little bit. Yeah,
Hell yeah.
yeah, I'm excited to get him back in the mix, man.
I dude, and I've said this to him. I've messaged him personally and be like, dude, I'm glad to see you back and
Yeah,
fighting, because I've always enjoyed watching him fight. And even when I spar with him, it's always tough. So it's good for me to see him do well, because I'm just like,
yeah.
yeah, he's good, man. He's fucking good. I want to see him do well, man. I
Me
do.
too.
I do.
I love that kid, man. He's him, Pat. Obviously I've had a really close relationship with most of the fighters that have come
Yeah.
through here and continue to have them, obviously, even when you guys go.
Right. Absolutely.
but
Absolutely. I'm trying to get
yeah.
Pat out here too, man. I want to get
Yeah,
him out there and train.
Pat definitely needs to get out there, man. I think he would. I've always told him he should make a trip out. There's so many good places to work out there. He's
Yeah.
been going out. He's been getting some work in, going to Alpha
Yeah,
Male
he
when he
was going
can
to Alpha
too.
Male. Yeah, I
He
remember
really
that. Yeah.
likes it out there. I think he made some, like, when you
Good
connect
connections. Yeah.
somewhere, and like, yeah, and he's definitely got that there. So I'm happy he found
Yeah.
that. And even I think the last time he went out was also when the coaches clinic was going on, so he was able to get
Yeah.
in there
Yeah.
and
Oh
get
yeah,
some.
I saw him there. Yeah.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
when Liam was there. But yeah, so I'm definitely gonna go to the show in Miami. Definitely trying to I want to send Erin out to LA to see her mom, because she
Yeah.
hasn't seen her mom since all this stuff's gone down. And I would like
Okay.
to get out to San Diego just because I haven't been in forever. That's the other
Yeah.
reason I want to move there is because they have Comic-Con there, and I've like so that
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. They do.
I've been to that Comic-Con twice,
Yeah.
and it was like life changing for me. That's like nerd mecca,
Really.
just like incredible fucking.
I was gonna go, which is interesting. I don't really like read comics or anything like that,
Yeah,
but my friends Markel, Ron, you know them,
yeah.
you've met them. Markel, Ron,
Travel Train
Jason, all
Teach,
of them.
baby.
Yeah, Travel Train Teach. They
Shout out
they
Travel
all
Train Teach.
shout out to Travel Train Teach, and they all like comic books and stuff. So
Yeah.
they were gonna come out. It was actually
Okay.
right before the pandemic happened, because it was supposed to last. Was it last year? Yeah, last year, because it happens in like June or something, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so they were all gonna fly out to go to Comic Con. I was like, oh yeah, fuck it, I'll go with you guys. And then we were gonna do, it was like a whole thing. So it was gonna be Comic Con, and then we were gonna go to E3, which was in
Oh, that's
LA.
dope. Yeah.
Yeah, so we were gonna do
Damn.
both, but COVID kind of fucked everything up.
Fucked everything up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Are
like
you
that's like the other part of the other reason why I'm like secretly want to just be out there, because it's actually really hard to get tickets for it,
tickets
to
to Comic
Comic-Con.
Con?
Yeah, you
Oh,
have to
okay, okay.
like go in like a virtual line, and then they like are randomly picking people to, and you just buy them,
Uh
but it's like a fucking pain in the ass. And I used to be in like this like preferred group of people that would be able to buy them early and stuff like that. But then
yeah.
I from not going a couple years, I got bumped out of that. And then actually the
Uh
very last, but that's the other reason why I want to move out there, because I feel like there's a lot of people that live there that ended up
mm,
like selling them on like Craigslist or something, like the
yeah.
couple weeks out. Because the last
Hmm.
time we went, that's what we did. We just bought these passes from some girl that worked there, but she also like had a booth or something, so she didn't need the passes that she had or some
Yeah.
shit like that. And I think we
Yeah.
paid like double or what they would have normally cost, but I didn't give a fuck. I just wanted.
You're ready to
Yeah.
go.
And what's crazy is like I don't read as much comics as I used to either, but they also have, I'm still like, I'm a lunatic for the films and the shows and
Hmm.
all that stuff. And obviously like part of the other part of this podcast and this channel is dedicated to that stuff. They also
Yeah.
have at the very end of the convention center, there's Hall H. So Hall H is where they have literally from like, I think like 10 in the morning or maybe 8 in the morning or something until
Hmm.
like 8 o'clock at night. They're just the studios. That's where the studios come in. So whenever you see those big promos where like
Uh
they'll bring in all the Avengers and like all the actors and all that stuff, that's all in Hall H. So
okay.
like you had to
Okay.
get up, at like, I remember we rented an apartment right
Hmm.
there downtown, right
Hmm.
there like near the gas lamp,
Yeah.
for like the week. and there was a walking distance, like 2 blocks. Like you could see the baseball stadium from where we were. It was awesome. And
Yeah.
walked down there at like 6 a.m. just lay down on the ground in line to get in this place.
No shit.
It's
Oh,
that
there was
hardcore
a line outside.
already. Yeah, I was like not even that
Holy
far up
shit.
in the shit. And then you get
Wow.
inside and you got to make a choice. Like you either stay in there, you got to stay in all day, or otherwise, like if you leave, like there's no way you'll get back in line and see whatever you wanted to
Oh
see
shit.
day. So like I
So you
like
got to commit.
pack up food and just commit to being in that motherfucker all day and sitting through some panels you might not care about. But
Yeah.
they're like, Marvel would come out and show you the stuff before they showed anybody else, the trailers, like the scenes and stuff like that.
Okay,
So it's
okay,
just
okay.
really cool. It's just a cool. I got lucky. I think it was 2011. That was the first year they were about to do the Avengers, the first Avengers.
Hmm.
So they brought everybody out on stage for the first time, like Robert Downey Jr., Chris Hemsworth,
Yeah.
all of them, all those motherfuckers were all out on stage at the same time. Samuel
Wow.
Jackson, it was insane. Like the whole place went crazy. So that's like nerd heaven there for sure. I'm just
Yeah.
like, I feel like
I'm on
living
the
there
other
would be
side of
dope.
that.
Yeah.
You're on the I mean, you like tech stuff too, but I'm on the other side of
Yeah.
that
Yeah. Yeah.
with the tech stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the E3s and the computer conventions and shit like that.
Yeah. E3 would be fire too. When they
Yeah.
have tech disrupt, like the,
Uh, there's a few that they usually do in LA, but it's all usually centered around E3. So
okay.
it's on the same week, or they do it in the same convention.
Oh, that's sick.
Where they'll have so like it'll be E3, but then CD Projekt will have a block of like 4 hours.
Yeah.
Microsoft will have their own. Sony will have one. You know, Asus will have one. Like everybody has their own thing, but it's all under the umbrella of E3.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fire. I would be into stuff like that. If I
Hell
lived
yeah.
out there, I would go. I'll roll with you, dog. When I eventually one of these days when I get out there. I know Aaron
Yeah.
wants to live out there again at some point too, just to be closer to her
Yeah.
family. We actually have
Yeah.
one of her nephews is gonna come live with us for a while. He
Is he
lives in
from out here?
LA. Yeah, he
Okay.
lives in LA, so he's gonna come live with us for a while, and I'm gonna teach him how to run this damn gym a little bit. Have some help, man. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that's like all the main stuff I was gonna run by you. I don't know if you had any other stuff coming up and that you want to talk about.
No, man. I mean, as much as busy as I am, I feel like it's all the same stuff I'm doing.
Yeah,
Like I'm working, I'm training, playing with my dog, running around, chasing her somewhere,
yeah,
and random photo shoots with my friends or people, and that's it. I don't really do too much outside of
yeah.
that.
That sounds pretty
Yeah.
cool though. It sounds like a good life, man.
Yeah.
I ain't mad at
Simple.
that.
I'm a simple man.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. Yeah, and we'll have I always put up the all the social media and stuff and link it
Hmm.
in the description and pop them up on the screen and all that. So all that
Of
stuff will
course,
be
of
there.
course. Yeah.
Not that you need any help finding followers, but whatever little bit of help we'll
Of
get. And
course. I appreciate it.
I think once for the people that don't know you, once they have gotten to know you a little bit, I think everyone's gonna be wonderful. And I'm telling you, man, I have a feeling you're gonna be a guy in Hollywood when you start acting. So you guys
We'll
heard it
see.
here first. Start following
We'll
this
see.
man now, and
We'll see.
he's got some fighting to do first though. He's got some faces to
I do.
rearrange
I do.
before he jumps in front of the camera.
Dude,
Um,
I cannot wait. And I want to say this here to you and everybody who is going to end up watching this. My next few fights are going to be fucking bloodbaths. So
hey,
it's going to be a good time, man. It's going to be a good time. And it might be some of my blood too, but it's going to be different.
all right.
That's all I'm going to say.
You've been
It's going to
working
be
on
very
some
different.
things. You got
I'm
some
working on some things.
sounds like some mentality shifts even going on there too.
A
That's
lot
always
of
exciting.
mentality shift.
Yeah,
Yeah, man. It's
that's
going to be
great.
good.
Well, I can't wait to see. We'll be tuned in. Um,
Absolutely.
fight wise too, like I know. So you had your fight on Bellator. Like, where's your ultimate goal for that too? Like, would you want to fight for them more, or like is a contender
I
series something that you would entertain too, or
I mean, I'm open to anything if it makes sense
yeah,
for me in my career, as much as I have my reasons for going to one place or another. Obviously for me, I would want to go to the UFC just because, I don't want to fight people that are using steroids, and I feel like they have like the system in place so that,
Yeah.
Obviously people are still finding ways to cheat, but
Right.
for the most part, people aren't using, and that's where I would like to be. But if I'm gonna go to Bellator and they're gonna pay, more money, or one and they're gonna pay more money, then
Yeah.
I'll do that. But for now, got to get some fights in. Hopefully I can get like 2 or 3 before this year is over, and then start shopping myself around next year. See who's interested, and we'll go from there. But wherever wherever wants to take me, I'm there.
Yeah.
As long as the deals make sense.
Yeah. Understood.
Yeah.
Understood. Well, I know wherever it is, like you said, it's gonna be exciting. It sounds like you're planning to create a new business card, you might say, here at
Yeah.
these next couple of fights, to
Yeah.
let everybody
Yeah.
know how to reach you,
Yeah.
what to expect when they reach you. So that's
Exactly.
awesome, brother. We'll be tuning in, and be always be sharing your stuff and whatever you got coming up on our Instagram and all that stuff as well too, so we
Of
can
course. I
help
appreciate that.
help the our little audience here stay up to date with what you got going on and all that in the future. And definitely would love to have you on again soon too, man. It's awesome just catching up with
Absolutely.
you. Like I said, at some point here we'll when people are able to travel a little bit more and it makes a little bit more sense, when we get the set
Mhm.
built, and then we'll I definitely want to bring all of our initial guests like you that came on while we're getting
Yeah.
started back, when we can actually have you guys here in person and stuff like that too. So we'll
Well,
get
I'll
that
I'll
up.
tell you this too. I should be in the DMV hopefully in June.
Oh,
Since
nice.
I'm fighting in June, so I gotta focus on training for the next like 2 months. But
Hell yeah.
once I'm done with that, I want to do a little traveling for like 2, 2, 3 weeks, and then I want to come home, see my mom before she goes to the Caribbean for a little bit, and
Yeah.
just hang out. So it'll be a good time. I'll check
Yeah.
you when
Come
I
see
get
us
out there, get
for
some
sure.
training.
We'd
Yeah,
love to have you.
absolutely, absolutely.
All right, brother. Well, thanks again, and I'll see you soon. I'll hit you up later and catch up with you again as soon as possible.
All right, man. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.